chill out. Like, the draft was great. It enabled the team. And just a lot of individual diffies. You know, Shihan diffie in the top side. Bot side diffie as well. I think Hido really did not play well at all. In that game, even on the Xayah. Like, just a whole combination there really came forward for Ruddy. And just, yeah, it meant they were able to pull out that pretty confident win there in game number 3 and keep the series alive.
Well, we're seeing the bans come out, the Sejuani, the Jace this time from Nord. I think that means they don't want to play it, they just don't want to give it over. The Maokai and the Rumble banned away. Still got things like the Rel up and available. The Yasuo is still there. There's the ban on the Yasuo from Nord. I'm curious why they value the Yasuo ban over like a Yone ban. Knowing that every carry plays one of those two champions, I feel like the Yasuo is easier to kind of deny, because Yone just has so many tools to get into a fight. They're deciding they'd rather just not deal with it, and they're going to take away Puis Rakan, which was a sleeper kind of hit last game. I think he was a major benefactor, which led into that game being in the state it was in.
This now sets them up to have Xayah Rakan as their duo, right? Just because Hido has, one game where he can't really auto-attack doesn't mean that there's going to be a second one. And if you have the Lovers duo there, it also sets up a lot easier for you as well. Honestly, would like to see Toaster try and deny this. I know we were big on the Ziggs, but I think if you take away the Xayah Rakan pairing, it just breaks up what Nord are opting into. And the one notable missed from the ban is that Rel. Pair it up with a Xayah, really good easy CC chaining between Xayah Featherstorm and the Rel combo.
Or something which you've talked quite a lot about over the last 2 days, Rude Dude.
Yeah.
Something which, can be enabled by someone who just groups up a team and makes them stay there with them.
Lock it in. Do it.
It's
gonna be Ruddy.
Minute. Yeah, I feel it's fun to talk covers, right? But like, there is also a world where it's just like, yeah, you do that, and then you just give Xayah over to Hido, who can just block out all of the MFR. So, question is what is the response going to be from the side of Nord here? The Kaiser's open, the Varus is open.
They go Misfortune.
They might do, honestly. Honestly, it wouldn't be too surprising.
It's a really good lane bully, but pairs nicely with the Rakan as well, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I mean, there's
like
the Azir for Omen.
Yeah.
That is much better than the Jace, I think, in my humble opinion. We'll see. They're probably going to pick up an AD carry here, something which kind of adds a little bit more. And I think, as much as the MF is a great lane bully, playing MF into Rel is pretty rough when she can just jump on you, interrupt your role. You kind of want to be very static as an MF, and Kaiser is the complete opposite. Someone who can move around and kind of avoid that Rel at all costs.
It's good as well with someone who can kind of protect themselves a little bit better, jump in alongside the Rakan if you get some more like engage in that jungle or top side, which is very easy to do in those roles. Then that's great, and that's going to be Zabdo's Nocturne. Okay, a lot of diving forwards here coming through from Ruddy's team comp. I do think that's quite interesting and very aggressive.
Super hard versus Azir.
Yeah.
Right. Just as an answer pick, it is very difficult. If Azir, for one, can shove you away with the Shuma Shuffle, he also, if he positions wisely, can just E away. So landing that fear on the Azir is always very difficult. Same thing to be said for Kaiser, honestly, as well. If you're not forced to take cleanse because it's a Rel, it's a really weird lane to take cleanse into. You've just got a lot of mobility to dodge around on the Kaiser. So quite a difficult Nocturne game coming in.
I'm going to say something probably quite silly, but is there a world where this is a flex into mid?
I don't know why. As soon as you opened your mouth, I just kind of saw that coming.
Honestly, though, MV carry, if there's someone in the league that would do it, it's him, right? 100%.
True. I think into Azir, no. I feel like it's a really rough laning matchup into Azir. Like, yeah, post 6, you could just jump over him, but that then goes back to, like, he could just shove you under his tower. I think...
They
decide they go for the Akali. unless we're in some crazy turbo world where this is like Akali top, Nocturne mid. Very much doubt that. I want to see some stuff from Nord, which is going to be that kind of more ease of execution now, because I think that was the big problem in the last game, was they picked a comp which wanted to be Dovat, and they didn't have those kind of we start fight buttons. This time, it looks like they're trying to lean a little bit more into that. They've already locked in this on here for Kakos. I think it suits him way better. And then another answer, looking for something in the jungle which can start those fights. Moving away from what you opted at, and they are going to go for the Vi. I do worry, though, that the Vi R is just kind of useless into Toaster, because he just presses R, right?
You hit the nail on the head. And Wukong doesn't have that problem, because he has 2 Rs and a ton of damage that goes in between all of the Rs anyway. So just my 2 cents on and that is specifically focused on the AD carry matchup as well. So maybe there's a little bit more to it that is in Nord's mind specifically. I'm looking at that 2v2 when you come around the mid jungle duo, can be quite easy to lock down that Akali, despite the fact that she's got 3 different dashes in her shroud. You press R on her when you see her, and then Shuma shuffle her out of her shroud. There's a world you can maybe find a kill there. Aatrox locked in though for Shihan in that top lane was a formidable force in game number 3. No reason to suspect that it won't be the same in game number 4.
You're completely right though. Like, I feel like I was a bit worried that like the Vial onto the Akali would be a problem, but I guess when you've got the Azir to shuffle them out, you know exactly where they're going to be because that's where the Vi's standing. I do worry though, like it's only MV Carry who's going to get ulted this game, because why are you going to ult Shihan unless you're just going for a pick? You're not really going to ult Pui either. Unless it's a similar situation. Toaster can ult out of it. Zapdo has a spell shield, so it's actually quite hard to connect the R onto the Nocturne unless you can bait that out earlier. So it's purely MV Carry is about to play not League of Legends, because he's just going to be unable to do much on a melee range champion into a Vi Azir. I feel like these team fights are going to be definitely going to be a little bit rough for him in this game. But I'm curious what your thoughts are on the draft, because genuinely, I think all of the other games, I found it fairly easy to make a kind of conclusion on where I think the draft sits at. I actually think this game's quite hard for me to judge. So I'll go to you, Foxy. Who are you liking in this draft, and and why?
I like Nord minus the Vi, because I think it's hard for Vi to do too much. Pretty much exactly as you and Rudy both pointed out. I think it's pretty standard, pretty simple. You've got simple tools and whatever on top, Azir mid. Simple stuff. The thing for Ruddy is kind of, they don't have good team fighting champions. You've got Rel, who will jump in and engage, and like she's your only engage, she's your only frontline as well. And then outside of that, like you don't really want to be in team fights with, just like front to back standard team fights with the rest of these characters. So I feel like this is probably going to be leaning more towards like a 1-3-1 composition. Like you want Shihan in to be popping up in a side lane and the Akali as well, and then you use the Paranoia for Nocturne to make it an uneven fight, right? To turn that into a 2v1, to pressure the side lanes, and not necessarily going for those team fights and having the benefit of maybe like finding a pick and being a member up or something along those lines. So I do think Ruddy have that different kind of game plan compared to Nord, but I just wonder if they'll be able to execute it, because it is a little bit harder to do that than it is just playing standard front to back.
I think it's to sort of add on to that, a skirmish composition much more than a team fight composition. If you get a 3v3 anywhere on the map, you're probably good. Same for a 2v2. 5v5s though, when all of Nord's buttons are there, it just becomes a bit too much for Ruddy.
Yeah, I think that's a good TLDR on the state of these drafts. As we do see, Sheehan does spot where indecision starting. Meanwhile, Zapdo, the great burglar himself, stealing away some chickens from the side of indecision, and he actually may just go for this play. The question is are Nord aware of this? Because he's lost his chicken and his red buff. If he doesn't go for a counter invade here, it's going to be super hard. And even if he does, MV Carry just placed a ward on the entrance to the jungle. So vision. Indecision will be spotted. So Ruddy will have a perfect tracking on Indecision this game.
This is tragic. This is so bad for Indecision here. I don't think he knows at all. And as you say, idea. I don't think he has an answer for it regardless.
It's Seneca.
Really lazy from Nord, honestly. It's so easy and so standard as well to put a ward on chickens at level 1. Just to know what's happening inside your own jungle, and now Indecision walks in. They're going to spot Zapdo walking away. They press tab, 12 camps, Indecision. Yeah. His only play here is to gank bot lane. As long as Toaster and Pui don't die to this. Does he even have his
Q? He's level 2.
No, oh yeah, he didn't even do wolves. No. Wow, he's gonna. This is depression station.
The walk of shame. You hate to see it.
And this is so nice as well for Zapdo, because the whole purpose of Nocturne is to hit level 6 in the early game. You get 3 camps for 3? Like, how easy is that for Zapdo now to just continue to power clear and make sure that he hits level 6, not just at a good timer, but so far ahead of Indecision.
Yeah, and Indecision wants to hit 6 ASAP too, right? So he's... Oh my goodness, this is a back-breaking start here for Indecision. He's going to try and invade and get something out of it. Does have a bit of
Doesn't
mid
have top
prio.
prio.
Yeah, exactly. This Aatrox will come on down and make it very difficult. Ruddy should have an answer to this one. We'll see if they decide to collapse. Here comes Shihan on the Aatrox.
No. This is painful for Indecision. Omen's going to do his best.
Seneca up though. Here comes
They
the
have moved Seneca up. Let's see if they can contest this one. Indecision needs to get this smite or he is in the saddest time. And that is a huge knock up onto 2. Indecision has to flash the wall immediately. Kakos too slow to the play. Zapdo losing a fair amount of HP here to Omen. And Ruddy chunked out. Indecision. He might not even get Crab. I actually think
he has to.
Okay,
yeah.
he's gonna get Crab. I was pretty sure he would ult F4 if he missed Crab there. Like that'd be it.
Oh man. Oh, it's so hideous here. Really good collapse again from Ruddy just to defend the jungle and Indecision. Like, it's not like the first crab is pittance. It's so awful. Like, after these first set of crabs have despawned, and then you get ones that spawn either top or bot, rather than the first ones that spawn top and bot. You know, the ones that spawn later, they're great. They're really good crabs to take away. These ones are just they're nothing. They're really not worth a huge amount. They're pretty pathetic, and it's Indecision is struggling here. He is not happy at all.
So much of the jungle game early on isn't actually gold, it's experience, right? And the crabs just don't give any experience anymore, right? The amount that they give is, as you said, pitiful. And the fact that you're stealing away 3 camps on Zapdo, he's gone back to base at level 5.
God, he's got that whip in his inventory as well, so he can just power through the jungle even faster. It's level 3 to level 5. Gonna get out of the map as well. Like, even if he just wants to go for this dragon, he could do that, and there's not too much Nord could do about it. Just oof, terrible start.
You're about to experience the worst thing about jungle, catch-up experience. There's going to be a point in this game where we're going to go, wait, how is Indecision the same level as Zapdo? And catch-up experience is just, it's not okay, man. I swear. All this work can just get undone by catch-up experiences.
One full clear.
Yeah, literally one full clear, just suddenly he's back in the game. Seneca, though, losing a lot of HP. Zapdo not able to finish that one up. Unfortunately, not quite at that 6 mark, as they are shoving this wave in to make sure this is as good of a reset as possible. And Ruddy, for the first time this series, are going to turn their attention towards getting first dragon of the game.
Not gonna be very easy for Nord to take a contest here or do anything about this at all. When you're shoved on the tower with your bot side, they can't move out here. Indecision as well was in spawn. Very easy, very nicely done here for Ruddy. All of this early advantage, just perfect stuff here. And as Rudy pointed out, skirmishing team comp here, or you know, I talked about the 1-3-1. Either way, getting off to an early start here is going to be beautiful for these skirmishes or for these like 1v1s in the side lane. It's great stuff here for Ruddy in game number 4.
And again, I tried to touch on this a little bit later in the back end of last game, but I do want to give credit to the Ruddy organization for this composition of players and how well, not just the players themselves, but the coaching staff, everybody behind the scenes has done. Because we look at the rosters that are in playoffs, right? The 2 teams that played yesterday, undoubtedly coming in with just a much bigger budget. Ruddy coming in with just not necessarily the bare bones, but definitely a lower budget roster and challenging in this playoff series already just speaks to the organization as a whole. And they've had 2 competitive splits in the NLC, made playoffs both times, and it just deserves that credit that Nord should also be getting given because they too made 2 splits at playoffs in the NLC.
It's very much a pride thing here for the side of Nord. Making that again. Let's see if they've got enough in the tank, because I feel like losing here it's the most devastating thing. When you get those first 2 wins, and like so convincingly as well, then to lose 2 games back to back, it's so heartbreaking. It's so hard to kind of find that that mental recovery from that point. So if Nord do go and we get the start of that reverse sweep, going into game 5 when you're the ones being reverse swept is just the most, it's such a brutal experience. It's so hard to kind of recover from. As Zapdo now, level 6, is going to be looking to find a place where he can pop that R. Like we said, it's quite hard to go in on Omen, to be fair. He is able to escape as Indecision, desperately trying to put level 6 together for himself. But Zapdo, he's just turning his attention towards this crab.
And this Herald as well. Should be able to pick it up relatively easily here. We've got some MV carry roaming action happening too. It is now Well, if Indecision did ding
He has
6...
a better smite, so it's 9 versus
True.
600 at the minute.
It should be free going over here for Ruddy. Nothing doing here for Nord. Although, as Zach, as you said, Jake, Indecision's at level 6. Is engage.
They do find the knockoff actually onto MV Carry here. They're going to pop the R, immediately jumping onto Pui. First blood for Kakos. The recovery, the bounce back from game number 3.
And from the start of this game as well. Not a good start here at all for Nord, but that is a kill. That is first blood. Unfortunately, it's Ornn. Ornn picks it up. He's probably not your ideal target for gold in this game and for first blood. Having said that, though, and I do think this is actually a relatively underrated point, considering how last game went.
Yes.
Maybe giving a little bit of love to the top side just to make sure that doesn't happen again. You know, it's not terrible.
Dear.
They do miss that. The Ignite comes down. They're going to chase up onto Sheehan, who flashes away. No ultimate available for Indecision, so he can't chase up any further. And that is a flash burn by the Aatrox. So Kakos going to be happy with that one.
Yep, again, let's see if either of these junglers can capitalize, because Kakos also earned their flash too. We'll have to wait and see on the second timer, I suppose, of our jungle ultimates if either one of them can make a play. I think you're less inclined to do so as Nord, because as we've highlighted, you're giving gold to an Ornn. The relative value of that definitely not as high as if you're trying to find a kill in the mid lane, find a kill in the bot lane.
Oh, Seneca really trying to be proactive on the map, and Pui finally getting the Rel, a champion which has been so hotly contested all of this playoffs, and especially all of this game. See if he can make it work. Unfortunately, was the victim of the first gank, and honestly, Kakos, lovely little R, did that through the blind. Obviously, is a little bit easier to kind of predict where they were going, but still was able to hit it, and instant follow-up from Nord. They were so ready for that play.
Nord now stabilizing in this game number 3. The start from Indecision was not good, but this is the thing, right? Indecision doesn't necessarily need to have a lot of gold to make it work. It would be better if he was playing someone other than Vi to make that true, but still, a Radiant Virtue Vi doesn't have to have a huge amount of gold or XP. But still, this is a massive difference here in farm between the two junglers. And considering skirmishes or 1-3-1s and split pushes and just what the impact that Nocturne can have with these team compositions, it's a big deal. Indecision now is going to get stunned out of his Q, should be able to just walk away. Toaster and the rest of Ruddy in position to potentially take this dragon, and I don't think Nord can do too much about it. But Jihan,
They are clearing out the vision.
Talked about these compositions. You got a complementary composition for Ruddy. All of their champions dive really well. Let's see if they can do it here. Drake 3k.
Yeah, they're looking to jump in. There's going to be the lights getting turned off immediately. Waiting for the opportunity to jump in. Unable to connect it. Everything gets thrown down on the Pui. There's the Featherstorm. Immediately following out. Omen does it again. Popped into the ram. Nord absolutely crushed Ruddy.
oh boy, it's all falling apart. Ruddy, perfect start to this game. They had everything they wanted, and that is just not it at all. What a teleport there from Kakos, getting down into the fight. The Ram Jam blowing up Ruddy. Yes, they got the dragon, but they lost the fight heavily. Nord very happy with that one.
I actually think if NV Carrier committed ult, he would have killed Omen here. Omen now could just do that old turnaround play of the Azir. Is about to get teleport up, so it looks like he might be baiting NV Carrier. Seneca's in the wings.
Okay. And everybody chills, okay? They've had a nice little fight around the dragon. It's now farming time the next couple of minutes. Herald pops down in this mid lane just before the plates spawn, or plates despawn rather. Good to see that they'll be able to get a little bit of gold here onto likely NB carry. That they're going to get these regardless. So 2 plates.
Oh, he didn't get it.
JK. Never mind. NB carry didn't get anything. Pui, good W. Gets himself over that wall. But Nord now very much with the momentum in their favour. They just found massive Drake fight. Weren't quite able to find the dragon itself, but they look to leverage that gold now into a really, winning mid game. We already talked about how their 5v5s are going to look better than Ruddy's, and Now, the fact that they've got a crown for Omen as well, I want to shout this out because he's playing up against 4 diving assassins. If you have, 2 seconds of very much reduced damage, it makes those assassins a little bit less useful for those seconds.
Yeah, it's really powerful actually here for Omen, as he is just chunking out MV Carry underneath the tower as well. Unable to get himself that plate, but still able to get a heavy chunk off there. And with this next wave and with the reset coming in from MV Carry, maybe able to just get this next plate because Akali, not particularly famed for her wave clear, so this wave will crash regardless. Actually, no, just teleports in. That's how you stop it from crashing.
Yeah, that's not even TP advantage either, right? I mean, as far as timers are concerned, Omen's TP will be up first, but I don't think it really means a huge amount at this stage of the game. 1,000 gold now in advantage to Nord, and considering how this start went, I am a little bit surprised about this one. Like, the Nocturne here, not really been able to do too much with that advantage. Has completed his mythic now with that stride breaker coming through. These tank mythics on Nocturne make it a lot easier for you to actually jump in more indiscriminately. If you're going for the assassin builds, then if you jump in, you better be damn sure you're killing someone or you're going to get blown up as well. It does mean that this Ruddy composition that otherwise does lack a bit of engage can have a little bit more from the side of their jungler of this Nocturne coming through here.
Interestingly as well, as Seneca jumps away to safety, it's an AD build coming out from Hiddo on the Kai'Sa. You asked for it yesterday, Rude Dude. You said you'd rather see AD Kai'Sa than AP Kai'Sa. That has been the case. He's got the Kraken Slayer building towards the... yeah, you were like, you much prefer AD, right?
Okay,
sorry.
I prefer
Not in the same...
playing it.
Yes.
I prefer seeing AP.
Oh, you prefer seeing AP?
Yeah.
Why, because it's meta or just in general?
It's way too OP. It does way too much damage.
Omen has just chunked the hell out of Xi in here. He's going to keep the pressure up. About to get his Q up. The rest of the team chasing up. Omen just gets turned onto. The world ender down. Gets hit by the Infernal Chain. Seneca may line up the knock up here. Catches him. What a dash!
He couldn't do that. Oh, that was like the only way he gets out of that one. I saw it coming a mile away as well. It was just going to be a trade of dashes there. Really good one response there from Shihan. Over here was the engage.
Immediately jumps straight in, but the AD Kai'Sa is going to start to put some of that damage out. Every carry eats a couple of auto attacks, able to get away. Hiddo slides in, and every little misplay is just doubled as Nord keep finding their opportunities. Pui able to get away, trading 2 for 1.
Such a strong start to this game from Ruddy. They got this Nocturne super accelerated to level 6. But all they were able to do was get 2 plates back onto the same Nocturne with it. They got a Herald, but nothing really much more. Nord able to find a fight around a dragon, using their 5 versus 5 composition beautifully, and now even turning around those short order skirmishes. Ruddy overcommit just a bit too far, lose their mid-jungle duo.
This is it right now. At this point here, Nord always have an answer for Ruddy. Ruddy are the ones in the driving seat as far as actually initiating and engaging all these plays, but it's Nord that have the final say. And a lot of it, honestly, has come down to catch costs on that Ornn. I feel like his team fights, the ultimates that have come down, have really benefited Nord, and he's caught Ruddy multiple different situations here. And now we're going to get another scenario where Ruddy... this is not a team that's built to fight these kind of 5v5s, and they look like they're going to force it around this dragon, and I think Nord might just come out on top again.
Zapdo's going to have to do one hell of a steal, but Pui comes in. There's the knock-up. Hiddo finds the kill. Omen gets another shuffle back. Hiddo can't climb up onto the next kill, but dragon secured. Kill secured. Nord, they're just so ahead right now.
And I gave credit to Ruddy earlier for their rebuild in Spring. I want to do the same for Nord here. Completely new roster between Spring and Summer off the back of another set of playoffs games. Picked up an LFL top laner catch cost, some veteran presence on that top side, and a lot of rookies.
He flashed into the tower. He's dead. He's gone. Indecision was too slow. What the hell was Hiddo doing?
That is a good question.
I will not do narrative. My apologies.
No, yeah, you're not allowed your punishment. Hiddo's had enough of that. He's just going to completely sprint it down to give 350 gold over to Aatrox. One of the win conditions of Ruddy's team comp in the split push, the skirmish, is the 1-3-1, and you're going to give a big old shutdown to the Aatrox. Yeah, that seems like a questionable play if Ruddy are able to come back into this game and therefore the series. Remember that play right there. That was a little bit No bueno from Hido.
Not the Spanish. You know it's bad when we pull out the Spanish on cast.
We're talking about it's a chocolate bar.
It's a lack of a chocolate bar, I guess.
Which is also bad.
Also bad. That's even worse than Spanish.
Even worse in Spanish. I don't know why that tickled me so much. All right, let's
it's
take
well
stock
known
of
that
the
Spanish
game.
chocolate is just the toppest of tiers of chocolate. So if you don't have Spanish chocolate, then it's just even worse than not having English chocolate, right?
That I'll give you that one. Lovely little
Cries in
escape out of that
Belgium.
one.
Cries in Belgium. Facts, mate.
Anyway, Gold League right now, 2,000 in the favour of Nord. It looks like they're going to try and take this tower. If not, take MV carry. This might be that moment where we're talking about what Indecision's capable of doing, but with Pui here, I think it's a little bit too risky. Akali is still Akali, and with a rail backing them up underneath the tower, they should win that trade. So Nord very smartly decide to pull off that dive, pull off that tower taken, maybe delay it for just a little bit longer. And honestly, the game feels like it's taking a bit of a breather for the first time this entire series. It's been so go for all three of the first games. Finally getting that moment where it kind of slows down and the teams kind of take stock of where they're at.
It's that sigh, I suppose, for both sides, right? Where Ruddy are, not absolutely steamrolling to a lead like they were in game number 1 or game number 3, and Nord are in a position in a game that will send them to the next round of the playoffs. And they, if they just want to take a little bit of time to reset themselves, breathe, remember that they are ahead, their composition scales very well. Just take a little bit of time to reassure themselves that they can take this game.
And the series alongside it as well, keeping your EMEA, that's so much harder to say than the EUM, Masters dreams alive. Obviously, the loser of this series is knocked out of the playoffs, and that's it. That's their split done. If you do want to secure your place in the... could you say EUM's international? I mean, it is, but it's just Europe.
I've gone for international event quite frequently,
Yeah.
just because it's better.
Yeah, definitely makes it sound more prestigious. So yes, this international tournament of the EMEA Masters, then you gotta smash your way through the playoffs here, and losing at this point would absolutely not be it. And let's not forget, for Ruddy, they were favorites coming into this one. Pretty much all of our analysts, and even those who aren't analysts, predicted Ruddy to win this, and it's not looking too good for them right now, despite having the advantage in the early game here. For me, the real kind of common denominator for this team, their shortcomings in this series, has been their objective control, their decision making around objectives. When they've lost, it's looked terrible, but in that game they won. In game number 3, it looked fantastic. They live and die by their ability to control objectives, and in this game specifically, they're dying.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Well, for now, game still continues to kind of have that slower pace, although Indecision is once again looking and lining up that jump onto every carry. He's used the proto belt, so that's some of that mobility down. Zap those in the area, and again, Nord are dissuaded on going for the dive, but every time they do this, MV carry has to back off somewhat, and that tower takes a bit of damage from Omen. So slowly but surely, he's whittling that turret down, and 33 seconds until the dragon spawns up. If Ruddy can get this, that will be the soul point over to them. And they'll be one step closer towards that mountain soul, which may give them a little bit more space, a little bit more breathing room, especially on Tashihan, who's going to be able to avoid a lot of that poking. But his sustain, mountain soul's going to make him really hard to kill.
I just want to give a quick little tidbit here to NV carry and the itemization. I don't really want to call it an adaptation, because you'll see Akali's go proto belt fairly frequently anyway. But he's just using it to proc the crown off of Omen, and those two cooldowns are very matched. So there's like a 5-second overlap between when proto belt isn't up and crown is. So it's just really nice to see NV carry constantly trying to proc that in case of any fights.
Well, hang on. What? Okay, yeah. Nord just want to take this one. I was a bit concerned when they all started backing away, but no, they're just going to take this dragon away, and finally, yes. Praise the Ruddy gods, they've decided not to throw the game away at an objective, contesting something they have no job contesting. It's been what their downfall for this game, and it was in I believe the first game as well, either the first or second one. It's just not something they've had the best decision making about, and so letting that one go, absolutely fine. It's good. Let it happen. Instead, you're just chilling out a little bit. You want to scale up a little bit, get some strength in those solos, and really look for a way to leverage that. The difficulty is Where do you leverage that? How do you leverage that? It's not going to happen against the Nazir, especially with the crown. You know, I think you've got to look towards the Aatrox, but up against that brick wall of an Ornn, even that's difficult. I just don't know what the window is for Zapdos specifically on this knockdown for the collapse.
Oh no. That might be a very endangered Aatrox. They launch in and Hiddo finds that kill. They even send a goat over to see him off to the other side.
This is a little marker for his tombstone there. He's dead. No doubt about that one. And I don't think Nord are going to get anything too much out of it. There is still that bot tower, though, that they can pick up for that freestanding gold. We know is he running away? Like, is that why
Jungle was buffed, right?
Yeah.
So it's a good pick.
Stuff. Where's your smite, bro?
Wait. Well, he's been found.
He's out.
I mean, he's out. He's out.
Or is he?
No, he's not out. They've decided he is absolutely not out. There's the Magnet Storm down. They chase in. That was a bit of a misposition.
I
think you've been nice to him there, Jake. I'm going to be honest.
That was me putting it lightly, yeah.
Lil Bro was trying to take the enemy blue buff when he's down 3k gold.
And not a jungler.
Yeah.
And that.
Yeah, that's probably a big part too. But now starting up the match, no. They've got... Yeah, okay, good. Get rid of that pink horde. They've got to get rid of that vision. Zapdo, though, easily to slide in with that ultimate. Can he go for the steal?
Looks like they are trying to chase up, but Human is here. Got the shuffle. MV Carry loses so much HP. Seneca jumps in, finds the knock up there. It's going to be the ulti pop. Zapdo flashes over the wall to try and get that vision, but his team is getting toasted on the other side. Zapdo's down. Baron's down. Nord are one step closer to making it to the game versus Verdant, and one step closer to EMEA, but it doesn't look like Ruddy want to give it up yet. Two-man knockout comes in. Indecision lands onto MV Carry, who launches out with the ultimate to safety. And now it's all on Mr. Spin the Block, securing one for MV Carry already. He is running a complete mockery. Knockup lands down. Seneca caught onto. In comes Hiddo, assassinating MV Carry. And now Hiddo chases on for Pui. Kraken Slayer procs. In comes Omen. Pigeon Man to save the day. Hiddo to mock it up. There's the ace. Over to the side of Nord.
Just one by one, the side of Nord come in to help their team. Ruddy thought they had the window. They went for the chase. First it was Hiddo, then it was Omen. And these two heroes coming in to save the day. Nord getting the Nash. They get everything they want. They get the kills. And they look like they're going to get this series.
16-5. 7k gold lead as well in this game. In case it wasn't hard enough for Ruddy to find any sort of fight there on Mountain Drakes, ever stacking on the Nord side. Two more of those and it's a soul in the back pocket of your Nordic representatives. Going up to a 3-1 record, obviously going to be a really good win for them, as Toaster now looks to be slightly caught out. Omen with the TP.
Only a little bit, because in comes bird on bird action. Toaster is down. Omen able to secure that kill. Meanwhile, Hiddo, he's just assassinating Zapdos. Oh, yes. Here's the AD Kaiser. It's been a hot minute. As they are channeling the Hex Flash here from Pui, and it's a defensive Hex Flash away.
Oof. I mean, just look at the mid, by the way. 700 gold bounty for Omen here. 4-0 and 8, 70 CS advantage. Now, this mid gap has just been astronomical in this series. And it's a little bit ironic. When Ruddy and Nord played each other in the regular season, Ruddy won both times. And in a post-game interview in one of those games, NV Carry even mentioned, he said, NLC mid laners, they're just not that good. And why is this Omen guy so scared of me? Well, I think he's gotten over his fear, at least in this series, and really has stepped up. And just his improvement, his improvement coming into the series. No, MV Carry.
MV Carry, he dashes away, but Hiddo just keeps the pressure up. He does not give a damn. Pui chases, but there's the instant flash out. MV Carry is able to escape with his life. But at what cost? Because this tower is donezo. They're going to throw the ultimate down. Instant shuffle back. Instant Zonyas. They've got themselves Seneca. He's going to come in and try and save the day. Somehow Omen survives. He tries to go for the return around. He tries to go for the assassination. Omen, he only went and did it. How on earth did he survive?
And we're sat here, Urizia's getting 1v4'd under the turret. The last thing you expect from him is for him to dash back in. That's that improvement. That's that marked credibility that we've seen from Oman, and him stepping up in this series, looking like with an inhibitor down. Nord not going to push for anything more, but they've broken open the base, and this is looking like the final time they'll need to do it.
It's just the confidence from the mid laner here from Nord that is really striking. And it's been the big catalyst for his team's success. He has been thoroughly dominant from game 1 all the way here in game number 4. Been a big reason for his team's success. And if Nord take this win and take this series as it's looking like they will do, he's really going to go up against it and be properly tested against the likes of Verdant and maybe even natives if they get that far. And just seeing the growth of Omen, man, it's special to watch, and I really want to see him, see if he can keep that up as his team progresses.
And the good thing is as well, whilst Oman has been standout carry every single game, even the one that they lost, putting up wonderful numbers, pulling out hero plays to keep them in the game for as long as they did, all 3 of these other games, Hido has been right alongside him with DPS. It may not be flashy, may not be him, you know, making the miracle engages, but he's playing AD carry at the end of the day. Only so much that we can anticipate from him. And Hido has been right there up alongside Oman, ready to team fight and ready to put the team on the back if needed.
Yeah, Omen has been a kind of a really stellar late game insurance for his team. I think that's the best way to look at it. I'm curious on this AD build, because I know you said yesterday you prefer it more as a fun perspective. AP is obviously better, just to correct myself from what I said earlier and how I worded that question earlier. But what do you actually make of the AD build here? Do you think it was the right call? I mean, he's doing a lot with it clearly, right?
Gives him supercharge, and I think versus 4 divers, it's really, really powerful to be able to just stealth consistently and make their assassination attempts that much harder, right? There's something to be said about the best offense is a good defense of just is killing them, right? But this time he is actually using good defense of being able to stealth consistently with the Nabori.
Oh, well, there's going to be that one desperation play, but the whole time Hido is untouched, unable to touch him at all. As one by one, Ruddy collapsed. Their hopes here at the NLC have faded as Nord have hammered the final nail into the coffin. They don't have the wave yet, but everybody knows this is over. Nord will be going up against Verdant off the back of an amazing series. They dropped one, but it was so clean, it was so crisp, and this team looked ready for playoffs.
And what a resurgence here from Nord here in the summer split of the NLC, starting off 2 and 4. We didn't even know if they were going to make playoffs. It took till the last day, the regular season, for them to secure their spot. Not only did they make playoffs, but in a relative